Hey, you guys, what's going on today? Thank you for hanging out. I really appreciate it. It's a quick one today. Things happen, and I want you guys to just keep that in mind when you're planning some kind of expedition or off-grid travel. Now, here's the thing. As soon as you decide, as soon as you agree with us that adventure is necessary, you start outfitting a rig and you're gonna go on some kind of off-grid expedition where you might be away from contact for days and days, maybe even longer, you go into a whole new league of travelers and you have to change your mindset accordingly. I'm not going to tell you everything you need to do. All I'm doing today is I'm planting a seed, and I'm going to give you a couple of examples. Adventure is necessary. It's also unpredictable. Go over to our Instagram account. One of the reasons it's interesting is as a result of things happening. We break stuff on a frequent basis. If everything was predictable, well, it wouldn't be an adventure. I guarantee you, no matter how careful you are, if you start going out on these trips, there's going to come a time when you're going to reflect on life and you're going to think about all of the things that have transpired to put you exactly in the position you do not currently want to be in. I know, I've been there many times myself. No matter how careful you are, you'll find yourself on a cliff, you'll find yourself off camber, you'll find yourself with a broken part, you'll be wondering, how the heck am I going to get out of this one? It does happen. There are a few things that you can keep in mind in order to avoid the worst case scenario. So let's run through some things. Now I'm going to use this last weekend as an example. Some of us were up in the Sierras. We were going on different treks, different trips, and they were off-grid. And me and my good friend Gary, hi Gary, we were going up a track. I was spotting, and everything we were doing, I would say, was safe and within spec of the vehicle. Now, unfortunately, his CV joint didn't agree. And when he came forward, there was a small explosion of sparks and the CV joint absolutely failed. So we had to get him off the trail, we had to get him back to civilization, and most importantly, we had to stay safe. So in that situation, here were a couple of things that we did right. Well, first, we had filed a trip plan. There were lots of people who knew exactly where we would be, when we were starting, and what time we were going to return. So file a trip plan. You want to travel with other people. Travel in groups, especially if you're going to be doing things that might be dangerous. Now, do I always travel in a group when I go off grid? No, I don't. I like to go out by myself, but when I do that, I make sure that I'm not doing anything that would be extremely dangerous. I play it on the conservative, safe side. It's safest to travel together. So in this case, Gary was able to get in my rig, and we eventually made it back to base camp. Now, comms. If you're going to go off grid, have a way to communicate even if you don't have cell reception. We use the DeLorme InReach. You guys hear me talk about it all the time. You need to have a way for two-way communication. And when that breakage occurred on the trail, I use my DeLorme InReach just as a text device to send word back to base camp. Got a situation, if we need anything from base camp, we'll let you know. And then everybody knew what we were doing and why we were still out on the trail. Now those devices are not cheap. They tend to be spendy, but if you're going to be off grid, you need to get one. So have a way to communicate when you're off grid. Now, it helped to have friends like Nick. Nick, thank you very much, MadeMan925, who travels with a 35 millimeter socket and an impact wrench. So we could remove the hub and remove that broken CV joint. What we ended up doing is cutting the axle off at the hub, leaving the short shaft in there so the wheel bearings wouldn't fall out. And then he wasn't a four-wheel drive vehicle, but Gary was able to get his vehicle back in two-wheel drive, and the front wheels were just free. So we were able to get him back on the road. So traveling in groups and supplement each other's equipment. You don't all have to bring everything, but if somebody has a 35mm socket, maybe somebody else has an impact wrench, maybe somebody else, thank you Dan Rich, has a angle grinder that is capable of grinding an axle in half. That was very handy. So not everybody had the same equipment, but we had everything we needed to get Gary off the trail. Now I'm going to mention a few other things, and like I mentioned at the beginning of this video, this is not a how to survive video. I am not telling you guys all the things you need to do. This is just a video that plants it in your head so that you can go out and do your own research and be prepared. But let me list some things. Always have a trauma kit. It needs to be handy. That's if serious things happen. Go see one of our trauma videos about the things that you need in that kit, or go over to our forums and see the list. We have a PDF list of things you need in your trauma kit. Thank you, Chris Solis. Always have a trauma kit. Have it be ready. Always have a fire extinguisher inside the passenger compartment that is easy to reach. And remember, that fire extinguisher is not to save your vehicle, because once a fire starts in your vehicle, it's going to burn. All right? That fire extinguisher is to get you and the passengers out of your vehicle safely. So have a fire extinguisher within arm's reach of the passengers so that you can beat that flame back and get the heck out of that vehicle and let her burn. That's what insurance is for. I know it's very bad when that kind of thing happens, but the most important thing is to save life and limb. Also, have a survival kit, have extra food, have extra water, and extra shelter. If you're in inclement weather, you need to stay warm. You especially need water. Now, we tell people you need 2 gallons per person per day of water with you. Now, to some, that seems like a lot, and it is, but you don't want to run out of water. You can go a lot longer without food than water. So have extra food, water, and shelter. One thing you can do, here's an idea, go down to the store, pick up one of those red backpacks that is a survival kit for 3 people for 3 days. Toss that in the back of your truck, or make your own. It's a lot less expensive. All right, now, one of the best things you can do to be prepared is to become an active member in an adventure lifestyle community like Overland Bound. You'll be surrounded by our members worldwide who know what to do when things go south or north, depending on which hemisphere you're. So, if this video was useful, you guys hit the subscribe button. You know that really helps us out. Share the information. And again, this isn't an extensive how to be prepared. It's just putting the idea in your head so that you can do your own research and become prepared. Also, this video, like all of our videos, is brought to you by Overland Bound and our members. So if you really want to help us out and become a part of an awesome community, go over to the Overland Bound website, figure out how to become a member, join the worldwide crew. We'd love to have you, and we'd love to see you out there on the trail. All right, you guys, that's it. That's it until next week. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you're going to Expo East, I will be there. Hope to see you there. And till next time, outfit and explore.